So, if you're like me and you love Transport Fever 2 and absolutely cannot wait for Transport Fever 3 to come out, and you're hanging on every update from Urban Games about the new Transport Fever 3 there, and today's an exciting day because we've had a new update from the developers where they're showing us the new environment setup for Transport Fever 3, which looks really, really cool. But there were some little sneak peeks from the beta of the game, which I noticed, which I wanted to go through and react to and see what we think will be coming in Transport Fever 3. So let's head on to their first look and see what we think.
Hello, I'm Sam, the Community Manager at Urban Games, and welcome to this first look at map creation in Transport Fever 3.
So the first thing I notice is the very recognisable voice as Sam, the Community Manager, and it sounds very much like Colonel Failure, who is a big-time content creator for Transport Fever 2 in the YouTube space. So he's obviously been brought on board, which is really cool because it shows that the Urban Games developers are really thinking about involving the community and putting them first when they're developing this game. So it's really exciting to see Colonel Failure, or Sam, as a community manager in here. So first of all, just the voice has got me excited about this game, but also looking at the scenery, it looks pretty cool already. Lots of sunlight reflecting off the water. We've got flowers, which is nice. We all love flowers. And we've got a lovely sunshine coming through the palm trees. So I can see my graphics card sweating already.
In this video series, we will take a closer look at some of the key features in the new game. With every game environment having distinct challenges, the map you choose or create has a huge impact on gameplay. In this video, we'll demonstrate how we've changed map generation and the appearance of the world. In Transport Fever 3, each environment type represents a very different opportunity to build, with the in-game map generator providing more variation than ever before. Maps are now composed of multiple regions with distinct.
So I love the look of this scene with the road winding through. It looks really, really authentic. The way the country road winds in and over the hills. I can see some clippity-cloppity horses in 1850 going across here, having a merry old time. So I'm loving the look, loving the way the lighting looks. It looks like a sunset, which I know day and night cycle is a big thing for this game. And so we're definitely getting some visual effects from there, which are really going to add something really cool to the game.
The way these regions blend with one another brings a whole new level of authenticity to your game world. The result is that every generated map feels unique not only in appearance but in topography, leading to more gameplay variety.
So, you know, we've definitely got some new sort of biomes coming. We saw sort of maybe like a swamp biome before, and this looks kind of Siberian or sort of Canada setup. We've got lovely wildflowers popping through the meadow, and maybe this could be Scotland as well, actually. Mountains in the background. I really love the look of it. It really feels like a full scene. There's a lot happening in the landscape, which is going to really add to the feel of the game. I'm one of those people that I really like to travel on my trains once I built the line and just watch the scenery go by. So I think I'm going to really enjoy that in this game. The trees look really detailed. I feel like the immersion on this game is going to be great. I've also noticed in the background there's a couple of items, one just behind my head here, that looks like it's in the water. There's a few industries that look like they're in the water. So I'll watch a bit more, see if there's any more of that, because that could be a really cool game feature as well.
Ever before. Map generation is built on underlying node-based technology. Combining simple nodes, complex rules are followed that define the appearance of the overall environment. This has allowed our art team to bring far greater visual and emotional value to map generation, while giving
So just going back, I'm just squidge back a little bit. Oh, where did
giving
we go?
designers the opportunity.
We need to go back. Hit me back. So I love this, right? Just look at the headlights on the trains. These are the little things that mean a lot to me. But we've got these lovely headlights. We've got the sun setting. We've got the cranes flying, and I do love some good crane footage in the game. But we've got the headlights, so there's lots of attention to detail. So I'm really excited about that as well.
A greater visual and emotional value to map generation, while giving designers the opportunity to fine-tune gameplay-specific features. Better still, when modders get hold of it, they'll be able to take it in directions we hadn't even considered. Rather than just tell you about it, let's see it in action. Here we're using a pre-recorded.
Okay, so we've got some pre-recorded in-game footage. I can see a mini map in the bottom right hand corner, which is something that I would find genuinely very, very useful in this game. Sometimes I do get a bit lost with the big map, especially if you go to a very large or megalomaniac. A mini map would be a really nice little feature that would make a bit of a quality of life improvement, that would make my life a little bit easier. So I really love that. There's so much detail in this map. The density of the trees is really cool. Yeah, loving it so
camera
far.
track,
But let's see how we look in game.
which is a tool you'll also have access to. We'll run through the same temperate map seed with a variety of different settings. By changing each of the individual settings, the basic geography of the map remains the same, but the differences in the
Ooh, so here's the first thing I've noticed, and as someone who's travelled a lot up the west coast of Scotland, on the hunt for a nice whiskey or two, when you go there and you go in the coast, you see a lot of salmon farms just off the coast, and that's obviously something that's piqued my interest straight away. Is we've got what looks like a genuine salmon farm, might be just generic fish, but it looks like a salmon farm here, and there's a couple of them. That's really cool because onshore or offshore, I should say, offshore industries are not a big thing in Transport Fever 2. So I know I've seen in the trailer that there's oil rigs, but it's nice that there's going to be fish as well. So maybe that's hinting at more complex and larger industry chains that we could delve into, which for me would add a lot of depth to the game. So I love the economy of the game and the challenge of it more than anything. So I would love to see more than just the 6 base industries that we have in Vanilla Transport Fever 2. So love to see some fishing, offshore fishing.
end result can be quite dramatic. Create the map that best suits.
And there we've got another one as well. Down here we've got the lovely oil rig. So if you're making a map of the UK, which I've done, and you want to have oil on your map, it's quite hard because there aren't really any places on land in the UK where you can have oil other than shale, but in the old days they didn't really have that. So if you want to have an authentic experience in the UK, you need to have oil rigs offshore and be able to bring ships in, something that's in Open Transport Tycoon as well. So that's really nice to see. That's I've seen that a couple of times, so I feel like that's definitely going to be happening, that we're going to get oil rigs, maybe other oil offshore industries. We can see the fish farm in the distance there as well, so that's looking really
what
cool.
you want to build, or how difficult you'd like the environment to be, or simply the mood you want to create. If you'd rather build the entire map yourself, the full map editor allows you to import an existing height map or paint and sculpt your perfect landscape. For many players, a significant
Okay, so this is interesting. We've got a view of an industry. Looks like steel. They're making. Okay, so interestingly here, it looks like there are 2 types of steel being made. I could be wrong. This could also be concrete. It looks like we've got some kind of bars and some kind of rings. So this could be steel wire, and it could also be steel beams. It could also be concrete, which would be really interesting. We could have concrete pipes and we could have concrete beams as well. But more interesting than that, I think, is there's no truck depot on here. So, if you play Transport Fever 2, you would normally have to put a truck depot next to the industry to where the cargo would be transported, and then you can take from there. But looking at this industry, we've got vehicles inside that look to be collecting the cargo from inside the depot. So maybe it's the end of all the hundreds of truck depots that they have in Transport Fever 2. Maybe we'll have a lot fewer of them because we've got the ability to take it directly from the industry, which is really interesting. Yeah, so that looks really cool. I wonder whether that be customizable, whether we can change the layout internally of the industry, or whether it's just connect up to the road. I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. We seem to have 2 types of cargo. Maybe there's a cargo in and a cargo out. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, it definitely looks like we're not needing the truck depot here. So that's a difference that we are getting from Transport Fever 2. So that's an interesting change. And you can see here we've got different game speeds, it looks like, different times of day, and different cloud cover settings, which looks really
part
cool.
of the game is simply watching the world you've built in motion. Much requested full day and night modes have been introduced for the first time, allowing you to experience your world at whatever time of day.
I love that we've got the time of day set in. I'd be interested to know whether this is an automatic thing that as you go through the game, you have day transitions to night, or whether it's just a setting that you can for visual effect. Obviously, a day in Transport Fever 2 is 2 seconds, so you don't want a nighttime occurring every second. I think that'd be quite like a nightclub, to be honest. So obviously here you can set it up yourself and you can change the date, but I wonder whether that is something that happens when you play the game free game. How they manage to merge together the 2 second days with the day and night cycle. So will the day and night cycle happen every month, or will the days be longer? I don't really know. But it'd be interesting how they bring those two things together. But it looks really cool, the nighttime version of this. We've got all the spotlights, the floodlights lighting up for health and safety. The workers have got to see where they're going. And we've also got, and I love the detail, the nice little red lights, which are for aeroplanes flying on the tall structures. We've got the nice red lights, which I see at a power station just down the road from me, on top of the cooling tower. So that's really cool detail, and it looks really cool. I think it will create great opportunities to take some great videos and images of the game as you're playing.
Takes your fancy. Our art and engineering teams have added physical skies to the game that provide believable lighting changes, while including cloud cover that drastically affects the lighting mood. Reflective materials like water.
Oh, so this is genuinely really good, right? So if you are not from the UK and you're not from the UK, lots of people love to make maps of Britain, and Transport Fever 2, it's always sunny, it's always nice and green. But if you want genuine, authentic UK scenery, you need to have this setting on max, because the UK looks like this. It looks like this right now at my window, and it looks like this right now in the game. So for realism, you're going to want to put cloud cover up when you use the UK. It's a very, very cloudy place, but I like that you can add that and add a bit of mood to your scene. Definitely add some realism. I like the reflections of the sun on the water. And also we got back to our farm again, our fish farm, which is really cool. Interesting how we would collect the cargo from there without crashing into these lovely little huts that we've got here.
Now mirror the entire world, including the current sky and cloud appearance, thanks to screen space reflections. Each different environment represents a unique gameplay challenge. We've completely overhauled the way the temperate map is designed. You used to be able to run rail along every riverbank without ever having to worry about elevation changes. Now you'll need to contend with lakes and tributaries, unless your aim is to reach the mountains, in which case that's a wholly different challenge.
So just going back there, interesting what he's talking about, the change. If you've got real sheer cliff face here, which you have, you think about Dover, somewhere like that, where you've got sheer cliff faces, you can't run a railway along it, so you've got to be creative. You might want to make your Dawlish railway in Cornwall. You're going to have to be creative about how you do that. So I like that they're adding more detail into that. There's a lot more trees along the coast as well, which is going to make for a little bit more challenge, but generally the mountiness, the hilliness, feels more real and definitely presents a challenge, and I love a challenge in a game like this.
In which case that's a wholly different challenge. Tropical maps have also been given some love, so that they now offer a unique island hopping and jungle experience. And volcanoes. Dormant volcanoes, but volcanoes nonetheless. And no, you won't be the only person to decide to put your headquarters in a volcano, but don't let that stop you.
So, headquarters in a volcano, that's a great idea. I had not thought of it till I watched this, and now we'll be able to do that. So let me know in the comments if you are going to drop the first thing you're going to do in your game is drop your headquarters in a volcano. I tend to put mine in a big city. I'm a bit old and boring like that, but for a bit of lols, you can do that.
Dry environment has always been characterized by sheer canyons and dusty mesas, but the effect is now far more pronounced. Rivers will make shipping routes on a dry map particularly tricky, but they might represent the best way to connect low-lying settlements to one another. This brings us to the new environment for Transport Fever 3, Subarctic, where snow-capped and craggy mountain ranges lead you through desolate boreal tundra as it
So this is really cool, the new subarctic environment. For making maps in Canada, Trans-Siberian Railway, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, lots of landmass of the Earth in this sort of subarctic places. where rail is really important in history, and that would be really cool to make some of those railways. Interested to know how big the maps can be because Siberia is a big place, Canada's a big place, but yeah, really cool to see some grizzly bears and maybe some moose going around. Let me know in the comments if you happen to see any of subarctic animals. I think I saw a bear in the last frame, but I'd love to see a big old moose in the
Tends
game.
towards swamps that will provide a challenge unlike any other. You're going to need to bring out all your route planning skills.
Ooh, so this is like a nice quality of life improvement we're getting here. I can see without clicking on the vehicles, which I do a lot of to find out what they're carrying, I can see quantities and capacities of cargo in different places. So I can see what looks like sand. So that's interesting. And then we look like we have glass here as well. So sand and glass, obviously that goes together. So are we having to supply sand to this factory? We've got the internal delivery of the material, and looks like the glass is being picked up from over here. So again, we've got no truck depots, which is really cool. But I love the quality of life improvement in that I can see at a glance um, how much material is on each of those without having to click on the individual ones, which will make managing a more efficient transport network a lot easier. And it's those small things which make a big difference to how a game feels, I think. And they look like they're absolutely going for it. So good on Urban Games for that.
To negotiate both mountains and swamps within the same environment. If you're building a road from the
Okay, so he's going to talk about, I think, the loop from here to there, and just take a note of the industries here. We've got sand and glass, and we've also got bottles over here, glass bottles. So that's really cool. We're getting, we've got, a 3-chain industry. There'll be a need for that, whether the glass bottles need to be filled with something. It'll be interesting whether we have a fourth one, which would really be an extension of what we have so far. That would be really cool. We can see the 400. Is that producing 400 glass there? And then are we producing 400, or is there demand for 400? I don't know, but this biome looks really cool, and we've got this extended industry. Now, I know when you play the campaign in Vanilla Transport Fever 2, there's more industries in the campaign than there are in the free game. So I'm interested to know whether this is a shot of a campaign where there's more industries, or whether this is a shot of the free game and there are more industries in there. Because if we're doing glass and sand, then I feel like this could be quite an expansive range of industries to go with. So looking really good so far.
glassworks to the bottling plant, do you go in a straight line to make it faster, or do you work with the contours of the land to save money? Local populations won't be happy with you for heavily modifying the landscape, but is that a price worth paying for a
So local populations will not be happy with you. So this is something that if you've played OpenTTD, that you know that you can really get on the nerves of the local population with your building, and you have to keep them happy. It sounds like there's going to be something similar coming in this game. Can you just carve through the city, knock down all the buildings to make your nice roads? Yeah, that's an interesting. Definitely adds a bit more challenge to the game, and I'm excited to do that because that's something I did actually like from OpenTTD. If you're in the UK and you know anything about building railways, local objections have been part of the history of the railway and are still a problem with building HS2 today. So a little bit of realism in the gameplay there as well. I love that hint.
faster service? While these visual changes may seem purely cosmetic, the landscape contributes massively to how you play the game. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. That is a topic for a different video. We know that the improvements to Transport Fever 3's landscape generation will bring your game to life more than ever, because the world is fundamental to gameplay. We're excited to see what you create when you get your hands on the game. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next First Look video.
Well, that was really cool. We got a lot of really interesting stuff from the game there. I'm really looking forward to this 2026. It cannot come soon enough, please, Urban Games. Yeah, so we'll see what they come up with in the next video. Let's look out for some things that they come up with. If there's anything I missed from this video or something else in there, let me know in the comments. I'm very excited about this game. I don't want to miss anything. It's just going to be like Christmas come early in 2026. We'll see how that goes. Bye bye.